The story of the tomb of unknown soldier. Let's react.
Not every soldier is recognized for his heroic actions. Indeed, one of the countless tragedies of war is that the bodies of many soldiers are never even identified. On August 3rd, 1956, 3 years after the end of the Korean War, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed a bill to select and pay tribute to the unknown soldiers of the Korean War and World War II. These soldiers would be buried in the Tomb of the Unknowns at Arlington National Cemetery. The Tomb of the Unknowns was created in response to the mass casualties of World War I. The idea of honoring the unknown dead, of which there were so many in World War I, began in Great Britain in 1920.
Every soldier, there's a story behind every soldier. There's a life, there's experience, love, brotherhood. Every human emotion possible is behind every soldier. But if you look from farther away, it's just a number. This is the sad reality of the war.
Then, in March 1921, the U.S. Congress approved a plan to return the body of an unknown American soldier from the war and bury him with full honors in a tomb to be constructed at the Memorial Amphitheater in Arlington National Cemetery. On Memorial Day, 1921, 4 unknown soldiers were exhumed from 4 World War I American cemeteries in France. They were placed in 4 identical caskets and set before a highly decorated veteran of that war, U.S. Army Sergeant Edward F. Younger. Sergeant Younger ceremonially selected 1 casket. He later spoke of his decision.
I was left alone in the chapel. There were 4 coffins, all unmarked and unnamed. The one that I placed the roses on would be the one brought home and placed in the National Shrine. I walked around the coffins 3 times. Then suddenly I stopped. What caused me to stop, I don't know. It was as though something had pulled me. I placed the roses on the coffin in front of me. I can still remember the odd feeling that I had, standing there alone.
The chosen unknown was transported to the...
Yeah, this is literally very, very sad that those soldiers went to protect their land, and in the end, they died, and nobody knows who they are. A lot of suffering, in families also. I cannot imagine the pain that they went through when their families got told that they died, and this is terrible.
United States aboard the USS Olympia. Those remaining were interred in the Meuse-Argonne Cemetery, France. The selected unknown lay in state at the Capitol Rotunda until midnight on November 10th, 1921. On November 11th, Armistice Day, the casket of that unknown soldier was carried from the Rotunda to Arlington National Cemetery under a military escort. Behind the caisson bearing the flag-draped casket walked President Harding, Vice President Coolidge, Chief Justice Taft, and the other justices of the Supreme Court. Members of the...
I think it is done so that people know nobody will be forgotten. Everybody will be remembered, okay? So if you fall for your country, you, even if we don't know who you are, your body will be, the tribute will be paid.
Cabinet, Senate, and House of Representatives, generals and other distinguished officers from America's wars, and recipients of the Medal of Honor. President Harding officiated at the interment ceremonies at the Memorial Amphitheater at Arlington National Cemetery. He conferred upon the unknown soldier the Medal of Honor and the Distinguished Service Cross. Representatives of foreign governments allied with the U.S. in World War I participated as well, bestowing upon the unknown their own highest military awards. The United States reciprocated this gesture, honoring an unknown soldier from nations of France, Great Britain, Belgium, Italy, and Romania with the Medal of Honor. In the history of the Medal of Honor, these are the only 5 instances in which the award was presented to a foreign soldier. After World War II, plans were made for the selection and burial of an unknown from that war. But fighting in Korea broke out before the selection process had begun.
Listen, the war in Korea was crazy. I mean, the casualties was like sky high, and I think I would love to learn more about Korean wars because fighting Koreans, it's like not fighting the Germans. You know, this is all different story, and the war is much different than in Europe.
The decision was made to postpone until a more appropriate time. That time turned out to be 1958, when unknowns from World War II and the Korean War were selected for burial in the Tomb of the Unknowns. The final selection of the unknown from the Korean War took place on May 15th, 1958. All of the unknown war dead from that war had been buried in the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific.
Listen, anybody in the comment section, let me know what were the casualties of United States during the World War II.
In that place, 4 candidates for burial in the Tomb of the Unknowns were placed in identical caskets, draped with American flags. Master Sergeant Ned Lyle, a recipient of the Distinguished Service Cross for heroic action in Korea, was designated to make the final selection. He placed a wreath of blue and white carnations on one casket and saluted the remains of the soldier inside. The selection of the World War II unknown took place 11 days later aboard the USS Canberra. Earlier stages of the selection process had resulted in 1 remaining candidate from the European Theater of Operations and 1 candidate from the Pacific Theater. Hospital Corpsman First Class William R. Charette, recipient of the Medal of Honor for actions in the Korean War, made the final selection.
Also, imagine how many people have not been found during the Pacific campaign, World War II, during the France campaign and German campaign in World War II, and like Korean War. A lot of people just like got like destroyed and their remains not found at all.
The selected unknown, along with the unknown from the Korean War, arrived in Washington on May 28, 1958. They lay in state in the Capitol Rotunda until 1 p.m. on May 30th. As the procession moved toward Arlington National Cemetery, the 2 caissons, each carrying 1 unknown, traveled side by side. When they reached the cemetery, they shifted into a column led by the caisson bearing the World War II unknown soldier. As the caissons entered the cemetery, 20 jet fighters and bombers passed overhead, with 1 plane missing from each formation. The casket of the World War II unknown soldier was placed in front of President Eisenhower, and the Korean War unknown soldier in front of Vice President Nixon.
I mean, this is fascinating how Americans pay the tribute to the fallen soldiers.
The Marine Band played the national anthem, and then a bugler sounded attention 3 times. After a long moment of silence, President Eisenhower placed a Medal of Honor on each casket. The unknowns of World War II and the Korean War were interred in the plaza beside their World War I comrade. The tomb sarcophagus was placed above the grave of the unknown soldier of World War I in April 1931. The sarcophagus is constructed of 7 rectangular pieces of white marble, together weighing 79 tons. On the west panel of the sarcophagus, facing the amphitheater, are the words, "Here rests, in honored glory, an American soldier, known but to God." On the east panel, facing the Capitol, 3 Greek figures have been sculpted. On the left stands Peace, holding a dove in one hand.
That's interesting.
On the right stands Valor, bearing a broken sword in his hands. In the center stands Victory.
Wait. These were the Greek gods? Valor and peace?
Holding hands with Peace while extending an olive branch to Valor. The north and south panels present a total of 6 inverted wreaths, each representing a major campaign of World War I.
Who is this is the guards, right? So they guard the place, yes, as far as I'm concerned.
West of the sarcophagus are the crypts of unknowns from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Those 3 graves are marked with white marble slabs that lie flush with the plaza. Since April 6, 1948, the tomb of the unknown soldier has been guarded 24 hours a day, 365 days a year,
Wow.
regardless of weather. In blazing sun,
Wow, that's impressive. Like, I wonder why do they put the guard over there? It's just like to pay the tribute, probably, because I think like people won't just come there. There's like a lot of different people in the world, and they might be people who will disrespect the veterans of first, second, on all wars, and come here and do some crazy stuff. Maybe that's another reason why the guard is there.
freezing snow, and even in the face of hurricanes, the Sentinels continue
hurricanes?
their watch.
Wow.
The Sentinels, members of the 3rd Infantry, or Old Guard, are famous for the precision of their march and changing of the guard.
This is impressive.
The Sentinel marches 21 steps across a black mat, past the crypts of each unknown. He then makes a crisp 90-degree turn to face east for 21 seconds. He then makes another 90-degree turn, facing north for 21 seconds.
Why 21?
A crisp shoulder arms movement places the rifle on the shoulder nearest the visitors to signify that the Sentinel stands between the tomb and any threat. After that moment, the Sentinel paces 21 steps north, turns, and
Wait, I don't understand why 21.
repeats the process. Every hour during the winter and every half hour during summer daylight hours, the Sentinels conduct the changing of the guard ceremony. As the new Sentinel approaches the relief commander, slowly and with great precision, conducts a white glove inspection of the Sentinel's weapon.
Oh, wow.
The two then march to the center of the mat, where the active Sentinel stops his walk, and all 3 men salute the tomb. The relief commander instructs the active Sentinel, "Pass on your orders." The Sentinel replies, "Post and orders remain as directed." The relieving Sentinel responds, "Orders acknowledged." The relieving Sentinel then steps into position at the center of the black mat. The relief commander and relieved Sentinel exit, and the new Sentinel begins his march. The unknown soldiers serve to remind us that not all actions of valor are witnessed and recorded in war. We do not know the stories of these men, but we know they gave their lives in a war they did not start to protect the freedom of people who would never know their names. They demonstrate the courage and heroism of every man and woman who goes into combat.
Like every war that we didn't start, like a lot of things that we didn't do, that politics do, okay? So yeah, I mean, we are probably not in control most of the time.
In service of their nation. They will face threats we can hardly imagine in an attempt to eliminate the dangers that are posed to the men in the trench beside them.
That was really impressive, and as I said before, I really enjoy watching how Americans pay tribute to their soldiers, because really America is a war machine. It's a huge machine of war that's been at war in all of its existence, literally. The revolution against British Empire, yeah, then the Civil War, then the other wars that were like against the Mexico, for example, like what was else? Vietnam, World War I, World War II, Korean War, like you name it. USA was everywhere in every war, and this is one of the reasons why USA is in the front of all the countries in the world when it comes down to the size of the equipment and personnel in army. The money that they put in, it's crazy. The amount of taxes the taxpayers put into the army, it's like a lot of money. Keep it up, USA. You're doing great. Overall, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. If you have any suggestions, leave it in the comment section, yeah. And also check out my other reaction videos. They are great. There are some nice reaction videos that you will enjoy. See you in next reaction videos. Bye.